Let me show you something that most bettors will never see. These are the actual signals that we look at every single day before we lock in a single play. Let me get right into it. So what I do every single morning is I have my checklist. I go through this right here. You don't have to worry about this because it's already done for you over here. This is actual live signals from today's slate. If you want to take advantage of this, you can go ahead. However, these are not confirmed plays, so be very careful with that. I will want to show you though is that whenever I do my research, everything that starts aligning in a certain way, it starts pointing in a certain direction. This is going to be inside the sharp edge under the VIP section. If you want access to this tool, it's called the Sharp Edge tool. It's 7 days for free. However, for the VIP, that's going to be this section here. And I'm going to show you what this is also, which is the verdict and the categories. Okay. So basically, what this does is a very strong filtering system and it filters out all the junk. So, for example, right here, the Red Sox is one of the top teams right now. You can see it's number 3, and the Marlins are not. So they're like bottom 10. That's the reason this flag showed up as the opposite because the Red Sox are such a strong team. I don't want to get into all these details. I'm not going to try to explain how the sheet works. But what I do want to show you is this right here, where it says the multiple signals are aligned. 2 of 5 are in alignment with the Mariners, which is the expert plays and the MLB analysis. Same thing with the Guardians, expert plays and MLB analysis. And then the Cubs has a spread run line and a run differential model. So again, I'm not going to try to explain all this in this video. What this is just saying though is pay attention to these teams. Okay, that's all this is saying. So today, the teams to pay attention to is the Guardians, the Mariners, and the Cubs. But then you can go deeper than that. You can see all the expert plays are showing up as the Guardians, the Mariners, the Red Sox. All right, so I think I started going off topic here. Basically, what I want to show you is these signals. Right here, we get a bunch of signals. We get the expert plays, we get the spread on the run line. What this means is the line movement on the spread. Right now, it's going towards the Cubs, the Reds, and the Orioles. The MLB analysis, the whole breakdown that we do, it's going towards the Guardians, the Mariners, the Astros, the under on the Cardinals, the Athletics, and then the Twins on the over. And then the run differential model is also called the Pythagorean method. What this does is it looks at all the teams that have very heavy runs versus a team that does not have heavy runs. There's a lot of other indications besides that, but that's called a run differential model. So the Twins, Cubs, and Brewers are showing up on that one. The Marlins is showing up as a line movement. And then the expert plays are showing up again for Guardians, Mariners, Red Sox. Now, there's some indications here that there's signal splits. What this means is there's red flags. So for the Marlins, there's a red flag. The Red Sox, there's a red flag, and the Twins, there's a red flag. The ones that are showing up decent without any flags is the Guardians, the Mariners, and the Cubs. So you can see the two out of 5 alignment over here, expert plays, MLB analysis, expert plays, MLB analysis, the spread, and the run differential. Now, having said all that, if you look at this sheet right here, you'll be able to see where all the signals are pointing towards 3 different teams. It's pointing towards the Guardians, which we took yesterday, and they came back and won. They were losing very badly at the beginning of the game, but they came back and they won. So we did take the Guardians yesterday. I talked about that. Then the Mariners are showing up, but then there's a flag for the Mariners, so you got to be careful with that one. And then the Cubs. So obviously, you still want to do your research from here, but you can see literally in a few seconds, you can see which teams you should be looking at, which teams you should be avoiding. Now, if we scroll down a little bit further, if you pay attention to all of the videos that I've been talking about, that's basically everything that's being shown here on the cheat sheet, which is going to be part of the VIP under the sharp edge. All you need to do really is come in here, 4 hours of research in 15 minutes, and you're going to see this and it's going to say, okay, and again, these are live plays that are happening today. These are not my final picks. These are just very strong teams on things that you should be paying attention to. Cardinals on the under 8.5. Don't quote me on these because I have not done the research, but this is strong indications on which teams should be winning. We also have the one hitters right here to get one hit, the convergence, the spreads, like I already talked about, the Cubs, the Reds, and the Orioles is telling you to take a look at the spread at the plus 1.5 as underdogs. So that's something to take a look at. And then the line movement snapshot is going to say these teams are actually being moved, which again is the Marlins, the Blue Jays, and the Astros. And then the expert consensus is saying to take a look at the Guardians, the Mariners, and the Red Sox. Again, because all this stuff here, which is the cheat sheet, it's going to be filtering out everything. You're going to be able to see all the cheat sheet that we're looking at. This is the stuff that I look at every single day. And then the very best stuff is going to be cropped up to the top, which is the verdict. I hope that's making sense. It's going to be two separate pages. And again, I have not done the research on this for today, but the teams that are looking very decent so far is the Guardians, the Mariners, the Cubs. A few more things I'll mention here, which this is still going to be cleaned up. It's still not where it's supposed to be, but if you want all the free picks, make sure you go to the link in the description, click on free picks. So again, if you've been paying attention to my videos, you'll see that I do pitcher mismatches, and I look at which teams have a bad pitcher versus a good pitcher as well. And in today's case, we got Miles for Toronto. He's got a plus 11.8 strikeout versus base on balls gap. And then it breaks down, literally, it breaks down how good this guy is compared to this guy. Same thing with the Dodgers with Sasaki. Sasaki's a much better pitcher over here compared to this guy, Shaver. I wouldn't say much better, but there is a mismatch. Now we got Milwaukee with May. He's got a smaller gap right here. These are all the gaps for the pitching mismatches. Okay. So again, on one page, you're going to be able to see everything here. Also, this best and worst stuff is going to get cleaned up, and it's actually going to be on that same page. So you'll see the top, like let's say if one team is a mismatch with the other. So for example, today's the Yankees is saying that there's a mismatch with the Astros. So as you can see, that's a contradiction to what I was already saying earlier. So that's good to know. The other one is the Dodgers. We already know that there's a pitching mismatch with the Dodgers versus the Braves. So again, that's another alignment that needs to be cleaned up. That's what I'm saying, that these are not confirmed yet. Now, the pitching advantage in general for today's got the Tigers, the Giants, Phillies, Padres, Brewers on the over, and White Sox. Okay, then the MLB analysis, the ones that are telling you to skip these games, is literally telling you skip these 10 games. We've already done the research. They're not worth a shit. So be careful with these games. Obviously, you still want to do your own research. Again, these are just a cheat sheet to take a look at. And with one page, it'll literally give you the breakdown of exactly what we're looking at for the day. And then the last thing is the Nerfies. This is literally just telling you that these are strong Nerfies based on odds, nothing else. So you still have to look at the Nerfy board or the Nerfy report, and you still have to go through this and look at them yourself. But the ones that are showing here are the ones with strong indications as favorite directly from DraftKings. All right, guys, for sticking with me, I'm also going to, just for sticking with me to the end of this video, I really do appreciate you guys that do that. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out the free picks in the description. I'm going to give you guys the players that I like for today. The only thing with these players for today, or actually recently, is that they have been getting walked a lot. So you might want to look at the walks instead of the one hits, but I'll leave that up to you how you want to look at that. Pete Alonso, I'm skipping because of this road situation over here. He's not that good on the road. Plus, he's already faced this guy McGreevy, and he doesn't have a hit. Michael Harris over here, BVP min 0. So that means he's come up to bat twice, and he's got 0 hits. I don't like to see that. This one I do like, which is Carson Kelly. I'm not going to explain all the reasoning behind it, but the odds are decent. Plus, on the road, he's good, and against Arizona, he's good. On top of that, he's got all these little green check. What this means is that he's been getting hits. Each one of those little green check squares or rectangles means one hit. So one hit, one hit, one hit, one hit, one hit. 2 hits, 1 hit, 1 hit. So he's very solid at getting 1 hit. Gabriel Moreno, again, I'm not going to go through all the details, but basically he's hitting at a 0.75, meaning that 3 out of 4 times he's coming up to bat, he's getting a hit against this guy, Boyd. Sarin Rafaela, the only reason I'm skipping him is he's very expensive. Plus, on the road, he's not that good. Carson Bench, on the road, he sucks. Be careful with that one. Gleyber Torres, on the road, he's weak as hell too. And on the last 4 games, he's missed 2 games without a hit. Sasaki is very good against Arizona. He's very good as well. The only thing with this guy, he is expensive at a 2.25. And then you got Sasaki over here against Arizona. He's very good. Against Rodriguez, he's very good. He's come up to bat 3 times. He's got 2 hits. And then overall, you can just see he gets multiple hits per game. So the players that I like for today to get a hit is Suzuki, Gabriel Moreno from Arizona, Carson Kelly from the Cubs. And that's about it, guys. Thank you guys so much, man. I'm going to be looking at the teams that I already talked about, which is going to be, let me confirm, I'm going to be looking at the Guardians again. They won for us yesterday. So I'm going to be taking another look at them. I'm going to be looking at Mariners. I actually took the Phillies yesterday. They lost to the Mariners 5-1. I'm going to take a deep dive into the Mariners because they're showing up as a play today. And again, we went against them yesterday and we lost. So that's actually a positive thing for today to take a look at. And then the Cubs versus the Diamondbacks. But the Cubs is going to be a plus 1.5, meaning we're going to get them as underdogs and that they can lose as long as they don't lose by 2. Those are not my final plays, so don't take them. Do your own research. I'm taking a look at those 3 teams today. If you want all the VIP, you want to make sure you get all of them, go to the beastsportspicks.com and also click on the link in the description. And the last thing I'll mention is this cheat sheet and verdict page that I just showed you. If you want access to those, then go to the pinned comment. That's where if you want the VIP, the cheat sheet, and the verdict, go to the link in the description and then click on the pinned comments. You'll see that. Thank you guys so much, man. Let's get to 6,000 subscribers.